Elgato Facecame. It's not spam, it gives a damn, and it wants to capture you while you go ham. Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety of working triple XL, and I've gotten my grubby little paws on all of the new Elgato products, and they're already taunting me. So yesterday, I used this to actually make the video. So there's a full living demo. I'm going to show you some of the camera controls and stuff that this amazing little piece of technology has in its wheelhouse. I'm actually very impressed with Elgato's value. It's generally been a little bit of a sore point for me that you're paying like premium tax and stuff on their products, but not with this. This is now unequivocally the best camera you can get for streaming at the price. After this, you really need to go for like a mirrorless solution with a capture card and get quite serious if you want to get better performance and quality. At the price point, like I say, this is now unequivocally for me the best bang for buck camera, and I'll probably be purchasing one in the very near future. So before I get too carried away, let's go through what's in the box. Well, you just get the camera itself, obviously on its nice clip stand, which we'll go through in a moment, and then you get the USB cable, which is very, very strong, very rigid, and it's just a USB 2 cable. Even though it's colored blue, it actually doesn't have the extra pins to be a USB 3 cable, so 480 megabits is more than enough. A megabit is an eighth of a megabyte. If you want to do the quick math back on that, it's like 50 or 60 megabytes, not quite seconds, 50 something. My quick maths is failing me right now. Don't look at me in that tone of voice, all right? I don't really feel like doing the maths right now, okay? Just deal with it. So, the camera though. Lens cap on the front over here. Nice, easy, quick removable to expose a very, very large lens. It's quoted as being a 24mm with an aperture of 1 to 2.4. which you'll see in the tests is pretty damn accurate. Then the stand, it's actually pretty cleverly set up. At first I thought it can't tilt left to right, but it's actually got a lock-in mechanism at the bottom over here for your left and right turning, so that when you do have it sitting on top of the monitor with the normal clip that we're used to, then it will be able to be locked in position left and right, and then tilt up and down on the hinge in the middle over there. So cleverly put together, nicely rubberized as well. Even on the inside lip that goes on top of your monitor, they put in extra rubberizing over there just to make sure it doesn't scratch your screen. I like that. That right there tells me that Elgato engineers actually use the product. A lot of times it just goes through R&D and there's not a lot of like life cycle into it, and you can see these sort of pitfalls and corners and stuff, and they aren't cutting any over here. So nicely done camera, nicely done stand. Incredibly big body is something I think you will notice. It's to get a better throw distance so that it can take actual, or make usage at least of that aperture size to get you that good looking and very clean cut, very crisp imagery. Anyway, speaking of, let's jump over to the PC and show you the software and how the camera functions. So this is a very convenient setup, isn't it? I've got the camera sitting like literally less than an arm's length in front of me. You can see it's actually capturing quite a wide angle. I haven't touched any of the settings. This is literally just raw. If I just go through and I hit all of these resets over here, this is exactly what it's going to give you out of the box. Okay, you can see already, because my lights on 50 Hertz, I've already got some flickering issues. So just one click of a button and anti-flicker sorted. Okay. This thing has like really, really good functions, and you can take it from looking like okay, average, not bad. I mean, you can see the fluidity is pretty damn incredible, but we can do better, is basically the bullet points of the presentation. So I've got some pretty decent lighting as well. I've got a down light over there, and I've got another studio light sitting. You can see how bright it gets on my hand when it is on the edge like that. So let's start remedying some of these issues. One is we can zoom in a little bit just to cut off the rubbish and stuff around the back. We really want to put me, front and center in the thing. Contrast is incredibly good on this. I did a 10% increase over here. I did saturation to 60%, and I actually dipped the sharpness one. And I found that, already you can see there's some proper tone and stuff in my cheeks. I actually look like a human being and not just a ghost. I do go in the sun. I have proof, even with my trucker tan. Check it, deal with it. So yeah, I do go and touch grass. There's your proof. All right. Exposure is something that I've never had on a camera before. This is running at 1 to 1 out of 100 shutter speed, so we can completely change it if we want to. We can decrease the shutter speed, but we kind of want to increase it, and 100 is good because then it helps with the flickering issue. If I go to 120, you see it starts to pulsate and you start to have some other issues. But the fact that I have control over it and I can attune it to my specific lights, etc., is fantastic. So on 100, I mean, the fluidity.com.org.za. Okay, this is from a 3,000 rand, 3,500 rand webcam at the end of the day. Let's not forget that it has this amount of control. Having ISO control on something is just sick. Like, and it's on a slider as well, so I can really, send myself to flashbang city, and now or just put myself in complete object darkness. And the aperture control isn't affected at all by any of this, which is an absolute first for me on webcams. Okay, and I think it's just because it's got a proper lens setup with a longer throw and a better sensor, and all of that's basically what you're seeing over there. So I found that about 600 in the 600 range, it was looking probably about the best. I mean, how good and natural and fluid does that look? And you're seeing it on a large size as well. Never mind just picture in picture in the corner, which I'll show you a little bit of a little bit later. White balance as well. You can reset it and it will auto white balance properly and not pulsate as things are coming in and out of frame, which is also something that the competing, I don't even know if you can call them competing at this point, webcams do is they pulsate when you leave on automatic white balance. But the fact that I have control and I can put myself immediately in Mexico or in the Arctic frozen north is just, it's fantastic. I mean, look at the amount of control that you have over here. And 6200K is like daylight. That should be like as close to daylight as goes. Obviously my lights and stuff are a bit, in my environment's a bit sort of yellowy over here, so that's why it was giving me a little bit of a lower rate. But let's chill on 5400K right there just for a second. I mean, look at that. Just look at that picture quality. It's absolutely fantastic. Then obviously you have noise reduction, which you can put on with your anti-flicker, etc. But I don't think you really need it. It does kind of take away from the sharpness a little bit. You might want to increase it over here with the noise reduction, but I think with it off, it actually looks its best in general. I'd have to say, like, with this kind of setup, it just looks absolutely fantastic. So really good controls in of itself with the webcam. But what if I want to use Nvidia broadcast now? Well, they have included some of the effects into the software itself. So you can just do a blur, which is really nice. You get that DSLR effect, and it's just enhanced by the camera's quality, and it still keeps you nice and fluid and beautiful in picture, which I absolutely love. There's a couple backgrounds and some creative stuff, and you can add your own backgrounds into it. One of the things I really liked, which really attracted me to this, is stuff like this, where it has built-in moving backgrounds that look absolutely fantastic on camera. So it's pretty comprehensive. It has a huge amount of functions. It's got some pretty cool added, inputs and stuff, like having the Nvidia Broadcast SDK and being able to do this sort of stuff. But you might notice that background removal is completely missing, and I don't know why. I don't know. It hurt me. And prior to doing the firmware updates on the camera, it also didn't function through the Nvidia control panel properly. So luckily I do have it set up over here, so I can then remove the background. If I just go and leave this on a blank background or just turn it off completely, I then can remove it with the AI. So if I go over here, you can see, let me just go back to desktop. I have to then put it through the Nvidia control panel, which you could see it's a little bit buggy, but it does work. And then you can put the virtual camera through here and then do your background removal over there. That's the only way I've found to do it so far. And then you do lose a little bit of that fluidity and stuff. It's pulling everything through correctly, but it's just not as good. If I go to cam only over here, you can see it's still good. I mean, it's still fluid, it's looking pretty good, but it's just not, I don't know why is that not in there? You've got the whole SDK running, but you haven't put that into the thing. Oh God, please. That's literally the only thing that's missing, and then the camera would be perfect. But yeah, the controls are amazing. having ISO control, having shutter speed control is just like mind-blowing. The way you can anti-flicker it and stuff, it's very adaptable. It's not out of box. You know, it's not going to give you the best ever performance, honestly, but with some tweaking, it just completely sets itself apart from every other webcam pretty much. Anyway, back to the studio. Based on those tests, I think you'll agree the aperture control in this is absolutely incredible. It is super fluid. I love the white balance control on it, the contrast, saturation. It's got a really good suite, I think we all say. And the fact that it's already integrating with Nvidia Broadcast is great. The fact that I don't have the extra functions in Nvidia Broadcast is a little bit of a detractor though for me, because I like to do background removal and have that, you know, theoretical green screen running, which is pixel perfect cut out on this camera. It's just not like the way that I want it to function. I don't have the capacity to do that in the Elgato software. And then as you saw, if you put it through the Nvidia Broadcast from the Elgato software, it has a little bit of a moment and doesn't know what's cracking. So yeah, not ideal, honestly, from that perspective. So a little bit of tweaks and on, if we can get all of that software functionality to work through Nvidia Broadcast properly, now you're talking. Or just bring the Nvidia Broadcast suite more into the Elgato app. Just give me background removal. That's all I really want there, Elgato. Why is that not there? I don't understand. The motion backgrounds are very sick though, I gotta say. They do look pretty awesome and stuff, and it's nice that it's all there and it's all being considered and being upgraded. So hopefully with a couple more upgrades, then we'll get that sort of functionality. And the camera itself has the capacity. That's the main thing, is it's just limited by the software package and the control systems. The actual lens, sensor, everything that this camera is coming with are pretty much unrivaled. And that's basically going to be my Turbo Tortoise top tip with this is, if you are going to be doing some serious streaming and streaming seriously, there's no comparison. It absolutely blows my old Brio 4K out of the water. Very similarly priced. Do you need the extra resolution? Probably not. You're going to be picture in picture most of the time. And even on the wider pictures, it's still better quality at 1080p. That fluidity, I don't think can be underestimated either. It's just going to be a nice to have, the control system, etc. You can see why I think this is honestly their best product to date. I genuinely think so. Now I do have the full Wave DX microphone XLR input with the XLR cable with the boom arm, which I'm going to be doing a similar test on. So I'll do next week's buyer's guide on that and then do the review after, so that you have a full live demo. I'll take out a lot of the audio processing and stuff that I put on it, so it'll be a bit more raw. It might not sound quite as good as some of my other audio because I do quite a lot of mastering in post, but at least we'll have a full live demo of what the raw mic, etc. sounds like. And then I've got all three of the Stream Decks. I've got the original one, which belonged to me. I've got the new one, and I've got the new one that has some of the audio controls and stuff built in as well. So we'll do a 3-in-1 test on that probably early next week. Until then, if you guys have enjoyed this review, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe. Every single bit helps. And I will see you on the flip side.